Hey guys.
Hey everyone.
Welcome back to our channel. This video is a few more days as we get closer to Thanksgiving. Thank y'all for checking it out, and we hope y'all enjoy it. We're getting ready to head into town. I'm going to take off right now. I'm going to go wash the Jeep, and I'm going to go to the shop. MamaBear's and take the boys to school right now. Forgot my light. Everything else looks good. Kind of. I need to go to the car wash first so I can clean all this mud off. That's where I'm going to head to right now. Don't look so bad now. I mainly wanted to get underneath, so I got all the mud out of the wheels, everything that I'm going to take off. I sprayed everything that I possibly could under there that I could take off. And I also got the components under here, so I tried to spray as much of the mud off as I could with the transmission, the transfer case, and the engine. It was super muddy, because this went out during one of the times when it was like super muddy at the house, and I was getting out of the yard when the piston rod came through the oil pan. Now I'm going to head over to the shop and drop this off. We have made it back to the house. Mama met me at the gas station, and we put some diesel in the truck. We brought it back, and now we got to go back to town. I got to go to work. I got the Mustang to do, and I got the El Camino to do, and I got to figure out that red truck still. Man. We're making one stop on the way in. Before I head to the shop, we are picking up Michael over here at the school. We were taking off from the house, and I went to go grab something from the garage for the gray truck for the hitch. And when I went in there, there was some stray little puppies in there. There was 7 of them. And it's that stray dog that hangs around. It's Leo and Kenzie's mom. She lives somewhere in the ditches, like north of our house. And she just comes around and takes scraps or whatever. I don't know. See her around the house sometimes. We try to chase her off. She's super skittish and hard to catch. And the dog catchers, they don't have time to come out and get her yet. And she killed Ivy, and now I believe that she's the one responsible for Mackenzie going missing, because the dogs would fight over her, and Mackenzie was getting bigger, so they started. She hasn't been spayed yet, and we had an appointment for that, but she's still a puppy, you know. And I guess that mom dog didn't like it or something, I don't know. Which is crazy. That explains how all that went down, because Mackenzie doesn't take off by herself. She's always with Buddy and Leo if she leaves the yard. Normally she's inside or she's with us. And if she's outside, she's with those two. And there's really no way that any other pack would have got her. So I'm starting to believe that it was the mom dog that got her. I went into the garage this morning, and there were 7 little stray puppies, and they were eating on something. And we haven't gone into this little area of the garage in, like, I don't know, since the accident. I probably went in there like twice, or maybe not even that since then. So that's been like almost 2 years now. And when I was in the garage, I heard commotion, so I opened that door into the room, and there was some stray puppies in there, and they were eating. I didn't want to check, but I checked anyway. It was Mackenzie. I could tell by the spots on her nose. We have made it to the shop. I'm going to change the brakes on Mama's truck real quick before she takes off. Working on this Mustang again. The door gap from yesterday, I am fixing that right now. I took all the bolts out of this again, and because of this gap right here and this gap right here, I'm going to have to readjust this door. And in order to reach the bolts for this door, I have to get this fender off of here. Now that I have access to these bolts, I'm going to loosen all of them, and then I'm going to adjust the door. That looks a little straighter. The body line and the gap. And it also evens out this gap right here to the front. I'm putting the stone guards on, and I'm using these. We've got a whole pack of these. These are little clips that clip onto the sheet metal with the hole in it, and then the bolt will go through that. So as you can see, I'm putting them on right here. I'm putting them on right there. So they're going on these holes, and I've already put some on the stone guard in there. So you can see that one there, and there's one right down here. Those ones are for these. The bolt will come in through the back. So there's 2 of these on each side, and then there's these going all the way through. There's 4 of them, and then there are 2 more right here, which is here and there. MamaBear came by the shop, and I hopped in with her. We ran over to Safeway real quick, and I had to go back to the shop to pick up my bag. Hold on. And now we're gonna head back to the house now. So we're gonna roll on out of town, and we'll be at the house for the evening. MamaBear made some chicken Alfredo for dinner, and she made some garlic toast. A little bit of a crazy Saturday. So we got up this morning, cruised into town, checked for tattoo stuff. We ended up going back out to the house, and we met with our friend Amy Kay. We went back to the house, and I started tattooing her and realized that I was missing some ink. So MamaBear and Jackie came back into town to pick up some ink for me, and then they went back out to the house so I could finish the tattoo. And after that, we got done, and MamaBear and I took off. We came back into town, so I'm at the shop again real quick. I'm gonna work on this car. This is not one of the work rides. This belongs to one of the guys that works here too. That's why I was doing it Friday after work, and I was having a really bad day yesterday, so I didn't get to finish it, and we ended up going home in the evening. So I'm here after the tattoo to finish this. I'm gonna work on it right now. Looks like we've got a lot of oil leaking down in this. And this oil is coming from the intake tube, and it is also getting all over everything down there. And it's got a problem with this hose right here is what I'm guessing. Whoa, what is this? I was looking for where the vacuum would be coming from to actuate the wastegate, since this has got an underboost problem, and it looks like where the vacuum comes from is full of oil. Got this little vacuum pump, or what I'm assuming is a vacuum pump. It's full of oil too.
All right, look at that.
Yeah, man, this looks so good. It smells good, and it's gonna feel good. This guy, I think he's missing Kinsey girl like the rest of us. MamaBear made some pozole tonight, and then she made some pork for those of us to eat pork with it.
Just cooking on the stove. I'm not gonna mix it in there.
Because you gotta eat some too.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
Lately, when I've been making pozole, I haven't really been putting meat in it, and nobody really cares, I guess.
Pork is definitely one of those things that I could skip and not have a problem with it.
I think that all of you guys feel like that.
Now we can see the lights on. This light's pretty cool.
It is very nice, especially after Daddy Bear put up the decorations.
Oh, that looks extra cool, huh?
So pretty. Everybody's in the kitchen waiting for dinner to be done, and we're just watching Christmas live.
Dinner is served. Cold day, hot food. This is how warm the pozole is. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, guys.
Today is Sunday. We really weren't feeling good this morning, like all weekend, and it was progressively getting worse from a few days ago. And this morning, we finally had the bright idea to look for some medications. So I don't normally take meds, so it never crosses my mind. And MamaBear is already taking medication for her pain and all that stuff from the accident still. So she doesn't want to take anything else other than what she already has to take. So when it comes to sickness, both of us, without knowing, we overlook it. And this morning I was remembering, and I was thinking, man, I remember we bought some cold meds for the boys that didn't have acetaminophen or ibuprofen in it, which would be safe for Mama to take because there's already acetaminophen in one of the pain pills that she's taking. So we ended up taking some of those cold meds this morning, and it helped with the nasal congestion. It helped with like the sinus problems that we were having. So kind of crazy. I don't know why I didn't think about it yesterday.
It's been hurting here all day yesterday, and today it was finally alleviated with that medicine.
We've been having a rough sleep too because of that. So we are feeling a little bit better than we were a couple of hours ago, and I've got to get to the shop because I got to finish working on that red car that I was working on yesterday. I was feeling really, really bad yesterday, so I ended up having to take off from the shop. So because something might need to be worked on tomorrow, as it's going to be Monday, I got to get this car off the lift, and it shouldn't take much more. I got to pull a bunch of piping. I got to pull all the charge piping off this car and clean it out. That's like all I got to do, and put it back together. So hopefully it's not more than an hour. Then we got to go run out to my mom's and check one of the rides out there.
Then
Somewhere.
we have to get dinner stuff and stuff for home.
Dinner
and then
stuff.
I have to cook. Or lunch, probably. Probably lunch.
Lunch stuff.
Sandwiches sound really good for lunch.
Yep, sandwiches. I like sandwiches. I've got all the things I needed to unhook up here unhooked, so I'm gonna put it up on the lift real quick, and then I'm gonna unhook the charge piping underneath the car so I can start cleaning this out. Alright, now that I've got this up, looks like there's a major leak somewhere, and we've got a lot of oil coming out of this pipe here. So I'm guessing, holy cow, this intercooler has seen some better days. Yep, definitely a leak in the charge piping through the intercooler here. And that damage looks like it came from something. Man, there's a lot of oil that came out of this. Yeah, we've definitely got a problem with this. Holy cow. So I'm trying to unhook this part from the intercooler right here, and I let this down, so it started dripping out, and this is how much oil came out of the intercooler. It's still just running out. Holy cow. That is a lot of oil that came out of this intercooler. This is all going into the intake, and this is all running into the engine. This line right here comes from the turbo, and that turbo is fed through the air filter. All this oil is dropping in from that PCV valve, and it's coming down this tube right here, and it's running through the intercooler, which sits right here, and this pipe goes back up to the throttle body. So all of this is what's causing problems. This boost sensor was full of oil too, so I'm gonna clean this off and hopefully it works. If not, we'll just have to get a new one. These ones are like $50, so hopefully cleaning it will just work. Man, I was inspecting what else is wrong with this before I put it all back together, and I noticed there's a drip here, but that's an O-ring that's got a problem. And then I also noticed that this exhaust system is kind of shoved down a bit. It looks kind of weird. This is crimped pretty bad, and there's a boost problem on this thing. There's also an exhaust problem on this thing. What the heck? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, guys.
Today's Monday. We have two of the boys.
Our sickness wandered off to Michael.
I got sick sometime last weekend, or before this past weekend. So I got sick like Friday or something, and I slowly passed it to Mama, and then we slowly passed it to the boys, even though I was trying to avoid being around them all weekend, which kind of sucks. sucks. But Michael got sick, and these two are starting to sound like it, but they're good enough to go to school today. And Michael he wasn't sure. He was kind of like, yeah, I can go to school, but I don't know, and he didn't sound too good, so we just told him to stay home. We gave him some meds, and then we came into town.
It's hurting here.
And we gave some meds to these two, and now we're taking them to school. And Michael's got a throat thing now, I guess, which has been bothering me all week, and I heard it when he was talking to me this morning. That's why I was kind of like, whoa, what's going on here?
Whoa.
We're headed in right now. We're going to go to the mid-school and drop these two off. I have to go by the shop to pick up some tools, but I got a few things to do outside the shop today. That's what I will be doing. Hey guys.
Hey.
It's a little later in the morning.
These are so addicting. It has to be this brand. I love them.
I agree. I like them. Normally I don't even like ACs that are not just regular C's, but these are pretty good. We were at my mom's house, and this is what I was planning on doing, coming out here working on this van. I've been talking to my mom and my sister for a bit, and I went out to start on the van, and I looked for some jack stands. I found some that were like this big, so we gotta go run home and grab my jack stands real quick. I'm gonna change the starter. There's a lot more to it than just changing the starter, so that kind of sucks. But this is what my Monday is gonna consist of, and I guess whatever's for the evening. We're heading home right now. We're gonna go pick up these jack stands, and we're gonna come back out to Rock Springs. We're gonna head back to my mom's now. We came by to the house. I picked up the right jack stands. I picked up some more of my tools, and we're gonna head back to Rock Springs.
I picked up some freeze-dried.
You can't really see it. Go into the shade. Yeah, there you go.
Freeze-dried worms? Gummy worms?
Those sour bright crawler worms, the freeze-dried ones. We've been eating the freeze-dried Skittles, and we just tried the freeze-dried worms. Those are pretty awesome. He's all tiny, huh? Hello. MamaBear was saying there's going to be construction, and I thought, no, there's not. There's not even a road on that side, you guys. Like, they completely took the whole road down to the dirt.
I didn't even notice that. Holy smokes. What are they doing?
I don't know. They're going to make it a 6-lane.
Oh no.
Just kidding. I went home for jack stands, and I put the jack stand under this van, and they just sunk into the ground, and the tires sat on the ground again, so that's not going to work. I couldn't find anything to put them on as far as cinder blocks or anything, but I did find some ramps. So that tells me that we didn't even need to go home for the jack stands.
Oh man.
Sorry, Mama.
It's okay.
So we're hanging out with my mom's. It's kind of chilly out here. I was hoping it would be the sun, but the van is parked facing north. And with the hood open, I'm in the shade. Now that I've got this up, I have to remove this fan shroud with the fan in it. I have to remove this top radiator hose. I'm going to remove as much of this aluminum as I can and get it out of the way. I have to remove the motor mount that's straight down there. The starter, I can't even see it unless I move all this, but the starter is underneath this, but on top of the motor mount, and it's behind the motor mount actually from here, so we can't even see it yet. It's behind the AC compressor too, and underneath the exhaust manifold, so it's kind of impossible to get to. Well, not impossible. It's just going to be really hard. It sits on the other side of this motor mount, but it sits behind this exhaust manifold, and it sits between the AC compressor and this motor mount. So I gotta take a lot of stuff off just to get to it. I've got the top hose disconnected, and I'm gonna remove this fan shroud right here. So I start pulling these and start inspecting them. This looks like this is pretty brittle. This looks like this is gonna need to be reloomed. And when I get to here, you can see already this is broken. So this looks like it's going to be the sensor, and this might be the thermal resistor for when to kick the fan on. I wonder if this thing's been overheating. With the fan shroud gone, the starter's here somewhere. I took off the exhaust manifold, the heat shields. I took off a bunch of the brackets and stuff. I took everything off, and I'm finally able to access these on the back of the starter, because when these get unbolted, this won't slide this way unless you unhook those wires right there. So now I can take this bolt off and unclip this. So when I unbolt the starter, I can slide it out of there and put the new one in. Then I gotta put all this back together again. The new starter is in. So now I'm going to cover it all back up and put everything back on now. I've got it all changed out and put back together, and the starter is turning. It wouldn't start the first time I tried to start it, but I'm going to check that here in a bit. I just had to put my tools away. Love you, Mom.
Later.
Later. Alright, you guys. While that did not take all day, it definitely took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. That starter was crazy getting to it.
Definitely.
And the thing that I don't really like about that is that van is the same as the ones that we have at the shop. So it's like playing the lottery now. We've got a few of those vans, and if one of them starter decides to go out, I know how much work it's going to be to get to it.
Just say that needs to go to the other shop. I'm not working on it.
Yeah, that's on the list with the Kia serpentine belts, the Ford Escape alternators, and the power steering pumps on the Equinox and Traverse. We finished with just enough time to go pick these boys up. The alarm usually goes off at 2:30, so no matter what we're doing, we are usually half an hour away from picking them up, unless we're like in Window Rock or something. But if we're out here at my mom's, or if we're at home, or if we're in town doing a job, we're usually like a half an hour away. And the alarm usually goes off at 2:30. Today, I got done at 2:10, so we're taking off into town right now. Yeah, it looks cold outside.
Yeah.
Boom! Whoa, check out that truck. Looks like it's all bagged out. We have both the little dudes. We have stopped for gas.
Well, we almost forgot gas. I had to turn around way down here and go back.
We were already like right here, and Mom had to turn around and go back into Gallup, and we got gas. I stayed away from the books this time.
We got some food. And Daddy Bear was telling me about copper
Oh yeah,
jewelry.
a couple of copper bracelets.
Yeah.
She was looking at the copper jewelry in there, and I had just mentioned.
I really like the color because it kind of looks like a rose gold color. So he was telling me the health benefits, and I didn't know anything about it.
Well, that's kind of cool.
I told him, let me see then. And he had to Google it.
So she picked up a nice copper bracelet, and even if she doesn't wear it every day, it should still help a little with blood circulation and with removing toxins faster from her body and all this and that. Just
So crazy.
little things that could help. We're heading back to the house now. Evening stuff. I was telling Mama I gotta plan something for tonight, otherwise I'm not gonna do anything. So we'll see. I don't even remember what I planned for tonight, but we'll see.
Okay. Wow. Looks pretty.
We came into town to get something to eat real quick. and I had no idea where we were going. I was just talking and talking and talking and talking. And we ended up down here on the east side, and I was thinking, like, what are we doing?
We're gonna go work out. What do you
We're over here at this Cowboy Iron Gym because we're thinking we gotta start hitting the gym because our physical therapy is done.
Yeah,
and I like the track that she was on with worrying about her physical health and wellness. So I think now that
I work out twice a week for 2 hours.
So now that she's done with physical therapy, we think that we should probably join a gym, which is kind of crazy because once I get into that, then it turns into like a strict regimen of what I involve in my day, and it alters everything else that I do with my day as far as what I intake and what I'm outputting, and it'll change our lives a little bit more, which is kind of cool. But I'm waiting for MamaBear, but not today though. We were pulling into the parking lot, and I seen the Enchilada Lady is here, so that's what we're doing here right now. She has some of the best cheesecake, I think, in the world. But I've only ever had cheesecake in Gallup, so I don't know. MamaBear was going to get a salad again, and they recommended to get these flat top tacos vegetarian style. So MamaBear got this, and this looks amazing. And of course, we came for the cheesecake. This is the cranberry one, she said?
Yes, cranberry and candied walnuts.
Oh, that's going to be so good. And of course, I got the chili dogs, you guys. Look at these. I can smell the red chili already. Check it out, guys. MamaBear's eating this taco. Whoa, there's corn in there too. Check out this shell.
There's cheese on top of the shell. Or they put cheese down and then they put the shell down so it crisps up.
It's a cheese crusted taco shell?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So good.
That looks good. Biscuit. He's always happy when we come up and play with him for a bit. I gotta take him for a walk sometime. We'll let him go to the shop with me one of these days. Jackie's cat too. Outside cat. Good night, pup. You can't really see it, but it looks kind of creepy. The moon looks kind of cool. Kind of creepy. Today is Tuesday and we are back to our regular schedule. Michael is going in right now. We dropped Draven and Jackson off just a second ago. We're gonna roll out from the school.
Man, I can't believe Michael's really here at the high school. It's been a whole half year, but it's still like...
It's still crazy dropping him off and being here in the parking lot. And
yeah.
When I go in to check him out, it chips me out too. I really wish we would have hit the Thanksgiving dinner with him, but we didn't even know when that was. Which is my fault. I should have called school now. But we're gonna head over to the shop now. We're gonna make our way that way anyway. I made it to the shop. I have no idea what is going on today, but the square body is on the lift, so I'm gonna probably be working on this one today. I'm gonna diagnose what is going on with it, and we are gonna fix the problem.
Yeah. Total rebuild?
Pull the oil pan off of this 83, and this is what it looks like. I was worried about metal shavings. Looks like we got piston rod pieces. Pretty busy day already over here. So I got here, the red truck was on the lift. I pulled the oil pan to check what was wrong with it, and inside the red truck on one of these for the #1 piston chamber, one of the piston rods, this part in there, is broken. On the truck, it's broken like right here, so this part is flopped over and this part is hanging in there. So a lot of this, there's a section like this big and that big that's flopping down the oil pan. The whole bearing was in there, and the part that's still broken right here and that's still connected to the piston rod was jammed against the crankshaft. That's what was preventing it from turning. That one's gonna need a new I would say a new set of rods, but I think we're just going to get a new short block for that one and then just take all the accessories and stuff and put it on there. But now I've got this Cherokee in here. It's got a leak in it, and the new owner that bought this from a person that said that the transmission was bad. When he looked at it, it turned out it was bad lines. So I'm going to get it off the ground and I'm going to see what I'm working with, and hopefully we'll get this one running and out of here today so we can buy some taillights and whatever it needs for it. I'm going to build one like Matt's off-road recovery. No, I'm just kidding. All right, I've got it up on the lift. Let me see. Whoa, I can see a leak already. Looks like it's coming from up here somewhere. And it is not leaking right there. So it is between there and there somewhere. Okay, I see it. Looks like this was jumped, you guys. Things like this usually are when I'll tell the vehicle owners, somebody jumped your ride, and they'll be like, no, my grandkids had it, and they're usually pretty cool with it. Well, in this case, you can clearly see that where all of this crimp and crunch is right here. See, there's a definite gash right here and there, and I can see on the metal bracket. Oh man, oh yeah, you can see how clean that is right there. So this right here is what contacted all of that. So that means that spring was compressed fully. This should never touch that, so I probably should check all of this too. Somebody had a nice little wild ride, but the rest of this looks all right. Looks like, I don't know. Looks like that's the only leak. That's where the transmission cooler line is pinched right there. So I'm gonna fix that. And this line doesn't look too bad. Looks like it hasn't been leaking, and it's only got stuff on it because it's spraying out of there and it's leaking out of here. So this is the other line for it. This one is leaking pretty bad, but not from down here. It's actually leaking right up here on the other side of this hose here. So those connections, however good they are for like fuel connections and stuff, a lot of times for transmissions that is not going to work. So I'm going to cut that off and change that whole connection right there. I don't know how much of this line I'm going to have to reroute, but I'm going to, well, not even rerouting. It's going to be the same routing, but I'm going to have to replumb a lot of this. MamaBear came to see me at the shop, you guys. Yeah. She brought me some lunch. And check this out. Oh,
it finally came in. Been waiting forever.
I freaking love it. I've got done with the lines. I've got everything cleaned up. I've got them flared out so they won't leak. I've got them sealed up tightly. I even went through all the previous lines that were here, and I flared out the ends and resealed those. I sent for one clip, this clip, but for that line. And also an oil filter, some oil. I'm going to put the drive shaft back on the front right now and wait for the rest of the parts to come back.
We're waiting for the train. I just picked up Daddy Bear, picked up some panda. Now we're going home.
Super long day and super tired.
Yeah.
And smelling this panda and super hungry now.
I'm super hungry too. Super duper hungry.
Now we're hitting every stoplight and train.
We have to. We just have to. Yay!
I was not even trying to say, like, what if another one comes?
Don't say that.
Almost home. right, everybody. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys again for stopping by and checking it out.
Thanks for all the love and support, guys.
Y'all have an awesome rest of your day. Y'all stay safe.
You guys take care and stay warm out there.
Later.
Peace.